Hello everyone, back again. Welcome back to yet again another video review. This time, everyone, we're doing once again another one of these beautiful and upstanding moments. Today is for a friend. For this friend that I recently have made. A friend that is quite something. For this, I send a shout out to none other than Sparrow 9642. You're quite an awesome person, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Hello, Jessica the Ginty. Hello, Trip Gamer 22. Why the nope? And hello, I'm a Colada. Oh, hello back. Anyway, anyway, um, what the Austin Anthony? Hello. It's been a long while. Hello. Um, and basically, for those of you who do not know who Sparrow 9642 is, he's a person in the My Little Pony community. Um, he recently went through a bit of a rut. Like, he went through his own little struggles, but he is doing well. I'll say that. And I show you Sparrow my greatest support possible. So I was going to say what? I love how in the description says because why not? Because why not? Because why not? The fact that you know, like Sparrow needs the support. He's doing much better. I was speaking to him on Discord, and in saying that, like he's doing pretty good. He really, really is. Um, but of course, tomorrow's stream will be very emotional, of course, with a joyous occasion. Oh, what the flip? How did you get backstage? Sorry, I'm just looking in the. Welcome, the Dark Author. Welcome aboard. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dark Author, also known as, well, whatever his name is. I believe it's Jay. So welcome aboard, Jay. Let's see. Hello, Ricardo and Drip Gamer, and such and whatnot. Welcome aboard, Ariel.
Hi.
How are you doing?
So is anyone else coming in?
Oh, I believe there's one other backstage. Hold on.
Actually, there's two others backstage. Stage at train.
Oh, there is.
And
there we go.
Hi, thank you. I was gonna say, you're gonna be like, what are you, some troll or something?
Sorry, I hit a wrong button somewhere. Okay.
So since I'm familiar with the Dark Author, and I might as well give him a proper introduction. Or if you want to introduce yourself, I don't know, because I know you personally as a part of the Brony fandom.
I'm in a mixed bag. I only really liked the show up until like season 5. I don't know why I just kind of lost interest in it after that.
Yeah, season 9 was just god awful.
Just too many characters, I think.
Afterwards, mostly when the school of friendship appeared out of nowhere, it basically took over the whole series.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, it was like this. We start every episode off in the school of friendship. Forget about the rest of the world. This is more important. Seriously, no. Ponyville is important too, you know.
True.
Then of course, season 9. Okay, I will admit the fact that Canterlot Castle got blown to smithereens was crazy. I will admit that. Canterlot Castle had a little incident.
I actually haven't been keeping up with the show in a while.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I've been
you forgot to add Glenn. How dare you, Brandon?
There we go.
There you go.
Hi lads, I'm here. I've been waiting. I didn't know you were going back streaming again, Brian. So I thought
I'm waiting anyway.
Sorry, I
And for anybody who's wondering why have I got my DA name when I've got a redeemed customized version of Darth Vader with a blue lightsaber? Well, just to correct you guys, that's just basically an idea of what I am at the moment. And of course, it's part of my Star Wars canon when I've redeemed Darth Vader as a survivable individual. That's just something for another day. But yeah, here I am, guys. For anybody who does not know me in the comment box, although my voice might give you a hint. Yeah, and Drifter Gamer didn't realize who the hell I was until I told him.
Glenn, I think everyone knows who you are by now.
I know, but but he didn't know because he was asking, who's he? Like, who's Glenn? And aka me, because someone didn't know. Yeah, not everybody who's a fan. I mean, if anybody's a new fan of Brandon, then they don't know who I am when they see me, although my voice will give them a hint. Although I will admit, when I pop onto Brandon's stream, or when I start doing my streams at times, or if I'm on anybody else's, I get that slight fear that some people are going to pounce on me, because whenever I'm there, it's like, oh, hate this son of a gun, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm still getting that BS still, but at least it's not as common as
You do, Jay?
You get the picture.
What, Jay?
Oh. Oh boy.
Whoa.
That must be painful.
Hey, Dark Author, I'm gonna have to say, this is gonna be
Brandon's reaction.
Dude, I thought you were older than that, man. Listen, consider yourself somewhat lucky since you're kind of popular with the girls, I guess.
I don't want to.
Brandon's just speechless. Ginger Jesus has done.
I'm not even gonna read it. I'm sorry. It's too inappropriate.
I'm reading it. Yeah, but basically,
GingerJesus.exe has stopped working. Get a better joke.
No, even better. Even better. Brandon's not just the Ginger Jesus. He's basically the Ginger Messiah has become
Oh
silent.
God, not this again.
Yeah, the word that made everybody laugh, including Mr.
Okay,
Ortega
now you're gonna.
himself.
Okay, Brandon, you
what
keep
are we
making
talking about
Brandon.
now?
Nothing. It's a long story. Brandon, you keep making those reactions. People are gonna suddenly start screen capping you for memes.
Oh, trust me, Anthony has done that to me a lot with the
Yeah,
memes.
God.
for him, we wouldn't have had the infamous one that scared the shit out of me. I'm not lying, Brandon. That one time you made me piss myself.
What are you talking about? Which one? Like, there's too many
I
to.
hope the Dark Rangers return in 2021 is good.
The very first one that they did of you back last year. And I
Oh.
literally shat myself.
I need to see this.
Dark
Always-
Ranger shows up occasionally on my streams.
Or in this case,
Brandon, I need to see this. I want to see what Glenn was so scared of.
no, that was look. You're a year out. You're a year behind from that.
Wait, what?
Let's
I
see.
want to see what Glenn was so scared of.
I wasn't scared, but I'm over it now. But the first
Literally,
time,
you just said you
Wait,
said you
what
said you
exactly are we
crapped
talking about
yourself.
now? What exactly is it?
We're talking about the meme faces I make and how Anthony has screen capped them to make.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Drift Gamer said anyway. I'm pro believing the TTTE community BC season 1 through 4 were great, even though I didn't see it then. It went too bad at when like 2007 came. The CGI came and it was horrible. Then it went to good since. You know what? Okay, but look, I literally last night I rewatched Hero of the Rails, and it's a good CGI movie, no doubt. And I
will admit there were some
believe this.
unrealistic moments in it, like Thomas somehow being able to outrun an A4. But other than that, it was.
Yeah, that's what I was
nice.
saying. How
all
was
I'm
the
going to
CGI
say is
then?
that. Well, all that I'm going to say is that it has a good plot. It's just.
I mean,
that,
here's the thing. All of us.
I wasn't.
Greg,
Let Ariel hasn't finished her thought.
I'm literally shushed right now. I'm literally.
Okay. And the thing is that well, I'm gonna say it's got a nice plot. It just needs to be tweaked a little bit to iron out the rough details.
Yeah.
I mean, for the first CGI movie, it basically looked like it was like the newest movie. Seriously, it feels like it's the newest movie.
It was basically like it came out of a different universe.
What movie are we talking about here?
We're talking about Hero of the Rails, the first Thomas CGI film. By the way, trivia about that movie it was gonna be like season 12 with like CGI faces and modeled and the using of the models, but they due to a budget because they couldn't produce any more models, so they went full CGI. Although in an early draft of the series, there were built face masks for Hero's model and Victor too, but they never came to be. So I can't imagine what it would have been like to see the movie in model form.
Movies is one thing I've been lacking on recently. I think I've only watched 2 new movies this entire year.
Okay, guys. Since we're on the topic of Thomas movies, my personal opinion on The Great Race, that movie. The thing is that I feel it would have been a great movie if they had just focused on Gordon instead of Thomas.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I feel like there's so much untapped potential with his relationship with his brother. And honestly, I mean, I feel like that was a lot of potential character development for Gordon.
Yes, I do.
Well, very true, because
some people even claim that Gordon was the real protagonist of the Railway series, given we follow him throughout the entire book series.
He's been there since the beginning.
Of course.
Gordon's been there from the get-go with Edward and Henry. So they're basically the three. Basically, I don't want to say that they're like the 3 musketeers of the Railway series, but they are the original 3 because they're
the 3 engineers.
Yeah, they kicked it off, and then Thomas came in. So he was basically technically the 4th character, even though he's number 1. He came in afterwards. So basically,
technically, Edward was the first ever character made.
Yeah, but Gordon and Henry were the first. Like I'm talking overall. Why was it called the 3 Railway Engines in 1945?
Who knows? But I had something to say. I swear I'm gonna say right now about a certain movie that we don't speak of, but I will say it because I felt like I had to, and I'm warning anybody in the comments or even any of you guys. But hear me out. I actually rewatched MIR. And I'm not joking. It was actually worth watching again. It was really good. I'm not kidding. I'm not going to lie. It introduced a new location, i.e. Misty Island, that no other new location had ever been shown other than since since Great Waterton or something like that from the Great Discovery. Let me finish. The Misty Island, which was a completely backed off island from afar away, had finally been had finally been added to the series' canon locations, and it was a brand new location with new characters. Sure, the rhyming was bad, but you gotta admit it was actually amazing to see these engines and what they were like, especially with the tunnel that basically Whiff knew everything about, and these secrets were hidden from him. Like, we never knew anything about a tunnel. The tunnel was never there in the series until the Sodor Search and Rescue Center, i.e. a brand new gigantic building built flat land CGI flat land with tracks in a new location was added to the set of the CGI landscape, and basically, tunnel, everything, Misty Island. You could even see Misty Island in the distance when Spencer was being loaded into the ship in the beginning of the movie. You could see the island in the distance already.
Basically,
seriously, that's what it is. It's really it was really good.
Yeah, if there's one.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of like ideas out there that they're good on paper. It's just the execution is.
Yeah. That's the classic line there, Ariel. On paper, things look good, but to execute it is an entirely different thing. It's like
it's the same story with Magic Railroad, because the thing is, the movie, we had a good movie. They had a good villain. They had an intimidating one, and they also had a very tragic backstory for Burnett Stone. It's just that because of the complaints that
on the subject of Burnett,
the argument that they had that Diesel 10 was too scary, honestly, I'm sorry for swearing, but it's a bit of BS, because
oh please, we swear more than that.
Yeah, I've seen kids movies that are 10 times more scarier than what Diesel 10 would have been, and yeah, I mean, the honest truth is, I feel like we kind of shelter kids a little bit too much nowadays.
I agree. Yes, I agree.
I mean, well, P.T. Boomer is an example. Sailor John.
P.T. Boomer is still in the film near the end. He's just not fully there. He was still on Diesel 10's roof before he goes into the tunnel, if no one happened to pay attention.
Yeah, and then you know that line about Burnett telling Diesel 10 the magic he refused to believe in? That line doesn't make any sense in the final cut, but it would have made perfect sense in the original.
Train lover, please let Ariel speak her mind up, please.
What? All I'm saying is I'm agreeing. Jeez.
No, just let her finish. Please.
Well, what I was saying is that, I mean, the editing, I kind of feel like, because of the complaints from parents coming in too late in the filming, I feel like the editing was kind of done really in a very clunky manner. So it means you have a ton of situations that really don't make any sense in the final cut. Like what I was saying before with the line, "I'll get you, Burnett Stone." No, because the magic you refuse to believe in will get the better of you. It makes sense in the original cut because P.T. Boomer is said to not believe in magic and focus too much on the value of money. So that might make sense in the final. I mean, in the original cut.
There's just one thing I'm going to get, but I need to drop back. I'll put my views about that in a moment. I need to pull back what you said about the Great Race film, Ariel. Now I need to get my attention with this one. If you think about it, I'm not going to lie, I've watched it a couple of times during my long absence since 2016. I think there was actually a turning point in that one, because if I still believe to this day, because Blind Scotsman was in it, it was the first time we actually got to see him since season 3, since his cameo, and in the Railway series, mind you. So I kind of think this film was basically was another way of promoting his return in real life, because that was basically, everybody was talking about the return of Flying Scotsman, and then all of a sudden this movie comes out and he's in it, and so you would think there's a bit of a double promotion there, to promote the movie but also to promote the return of a famous icon. And I think it was great, because every time I see Flying Scotsman, I'm not gonna lie, I mark out, because and when I see him I think of Gordon. And you made a good point. I think the Great Race should have focused on him, and I think it could have focused on Scotsman a little bit more as well, because we got to see just how their so-called brother relationship has unfolded ever since. It may have been ever since, but you would think since they've gotten older, you would think they wouldn't have. But we've seen this now in other Railway series.
Be right back. Whenever
like
I come back, I got something to say.
Like in Fame and Fortune, remember that one where Scotsman
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, in that one, he
actually was
breaks down and he regrets. He breaks down, he opens up a bit more, and he calls him, big brother at some point. So it goes to show he has matured. And then you see the maturity that they have actually kind of, that's the brother and brotherly relationship that the two have had. And we barely see that in the actual film. Whereas I think it was something that I think Mattel or whoever it was back then had missed out on something.
It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, the thing is, I'll just say this right here. I mean, I actually do have an idea on how they could have introduced this whole thing, because, like, okay, about the role of the decoy protagonist, right? Or the false protagonist.
I think so, yeah.
It's a concept in which a protagonist is in which a character is kind of marketed to be the protagonist, but then they'll unexpectedly leave the narrative. And in action movies, this usually happens because they're killed off, and then it'll be revealed that another character is the true protagonist. So the way I was thinking that they could have done this is that maybe have Thomas in some of the promotional materials and still keep his intro where he's racing Gordon and all that. But after Thomas speaks, and then we see him talking to Gordon, like, the film just shifts all the focus onto Gordon and keep Thomas as like a side character.
So like the promotional art of Scream.
Yeah, like the promotion, like maybe Thomas could be front and center of the poster, but Gordon is right next to him, slightly behind him, but still visible in the poster.
Oh, hello.
So we know that Gordon's not going to be completely written out of the narrative. It's just that he's we were led to believe that Thomas will be the protagonist.
Yeah,
it's true.
It's funny.
Oh my god!
And it's also quite funny. It's very funny to say this because there was one thing that was cleared up, about Flying Scotsman and Gordon. Because growing up, I always felt that Gordon was like younger than Scotsman, because I was reading in the Railway series, if you remember, back in the day. And many years later on, we come to find out that he's in fact only a year older than Scotsman.
Yeah, he is a year older. If we're going by the Railway series canon, he's actually a prototype of the original. So
you can tell the two look very similar, and that's when. And I'm not going to lie, in that moment when I was reading when Flying Scotsman was in the series, because I kind of marked out, and that's why Gordon's become much more likable character and relatable character to me in terms of the. I don't know. Why do you think I based my new character as him in my Railway series? Because it's more related to Scotsman, and because of the family ties I have now with the real steam engine, which I've told a few times. I also want to put my thoughts on the Magic Railroad, because we were on that for a little while, and I'm going to be extremely blunt. I mean, unlike today where kids are shielded and way too much and overprotective, which I can understand.
Yes.
But we're going back 20, but this was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
This was 2 decades, and I was just 9. I was 9 years old at the time. But I think what many people don't realize, that some people talk to this day, is that the film still owes a special place in their hearts as a childhood growing up. Not to mention it, I loved it. Look, despite what it was, even today, I love it for what it is. I'm not one to complain, all right? Because this was, in my opinion, a revolutionary move. We had newer characters, and I was actually, I'm not saying intimidated of Diesel 10, but I liked what it was like, because back then, growing up, I was always into what the villain was going to be, and I actually felt that this guy should be more the antagonist of Solo than Diesel himself, like Devious Diesel, for instance. Besides that, I kind of think, in a way, compared to what we saw 20 years ago to now, you can tell. I mean, my result has never changed. But what I will say is that, I mean, it could have been a lot better had those scenes that we've seen on Blu-ray could have been added in, like the director's cut. Like for example, like when Sam, whatever his name was, did the final cuts on my Ghost Train movies, for instance, of how it was supposed to be in full shot.
Yeah,
and,
Sam the Comics fan too.
Yeah, for instance. But here's the thing. What I will say, I'm not going to. This is kind of a bit of a cheap shot, but I think that the original cut that we got, and I also think that that Chuck, aka iOS Studios' remake take that he did. I'm going to say it. They're both, in my opinion, very evenly liked, in my opinion. But what I will say is that his version told the story of what it was supposed to be like. And I'm not going to lie. If Britt Allcroft had seen that, for instance, right, say if she saw it, and and the guys that were there in the casting and the voice of the engines, and I'm pretty sure the guy who played Burnett Stone and the guy who played as Lee Two Feathers and like those who are not with us anymore.
You mean Peter Fonda?
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Peter Fonda is no longer with us. I remember.
Yeah, I can only imagine how. I can only imagine what they would think if they saw this. I bet you, trust me, I bet you they would be so impressed that they would love to have had that to have been. I think Britt Allcroft would have thought that's how it should have been. And who knows? Maybe if they just took all the audio from the film, and then we could just like dab on the actual footages and then do like the whole reshots that weren't even seen, and build it all up. Then you got a full variation of what Thomas and the Magic Railroad 20 years ago was supposed to have looked like. Just think of how far we've come in 20 years, and we've uncovered a lot of things that none of us would think as young kids would have ever thought.
By the way, I actually managed to dig up. I actually managed to dig up some of the cut shots of the movie, and there was a black. iOS Studio. iOS Studio. He when he was talking to us on a call a couple weeks before, he actually showed us like a video of some cut shots from the Magic Railroad, and there was a fully filmed, fleshed out flashback scene of a young Burnett Stone dancing with Tasha.
Yeah, and did we see?
Really?
Did we actually see that in iOS Studios' his actual version?
Actually, I do have something to add too about that.
Well, there's. Oh, sorry.
Train Lover, didn't you have CCP had something to say?
I did actually. I was gonna say that on the subject of the picture of Burnett and Tasha dancing together. If you see the scene where Stacy takes Lily to see her grandfather, in the split second before they leave the car, if you look closely, she looks at a picture for a split second. You have to squint your eyes to see this too. But she's looking at a picture of Burnett and Tasha dancing, the exact same deleted scene from the movie, from the same exact cut picture from the film. It's there for a split second. You have to squint to see it, but it just happens in the blink of an eye too.
Okay, so it's interesting.
But apparently there was also another.
I actually remember seeing that, to be honest. I noticed that even 20 years ago. I actually remember.
That's true, but there was also another vital scene that was also missing from. Apparently, there was a scene. I don't go in this, but I believe, truth or not, there was a scene where we see Diesel 10 in the middle of the night trying to shake Junior off his roof from when Junior flew off the windmill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that was in the actual director's cut or not, but we do see it for like a second. The Diesel 10 is like racing down the Kilobound branch line and access the turnoff. So
yeah.
I'm also going to say this as well. We never got to see the Fat Controller, aka Top and Hat, despite him being on posters. You know what?
We hear him. We hear him on the telephone.
Oh yeah, but we don't actually hear him talking in any English. But could you?
Yeah, but he's not speaking English.
Could you just imagine though? I mean, I'm not gonna. I wish this could have been in the director's cut, especially in the iOS Studios version. This is the only critic.
Brandon, I'm sharing my screen to show off the picture.
I was thinking of could you just imagine what he would have looked like if someone portrayed him in real life, and we have a live.
That reminds me. iOS Studios, he does have a post-credit scene for his version. It was basically when they find the barge that Boomer and Diesel 10 fell on, and then Diesel 10 is we see the Fat Controller reprimanding both of them. Boomer is arrested by the Solar Police, and Diesel 10 is sent back to the mainland.
Basically, Boomer got jail time for life and was put on death row. But I will admit, I was hoping. You know what I was always thinking of. When I first saw the movie, falls over when Diesel 10 grabs up before he falls down into the thing.
Look, I'm sharing my screen
hoping-
right now.
Because at the time, I was actually expecting it to happen, like, briefly, you know.
Oh, is that the picture?
Yeah, that's it there. When he
Yeah.
falls down.
Yes, this is the
I-
picture. I'm trying to get it to zoom in. I'm trying to get a full picture of it.
I can see it clearly on my
Trying
end.
to
Very
get this
clearly,
picture of the
exactly.
full picture.
There it is. Yeah, but can you just imagine?
Yeah, but I'm trying to get an even closer zoom in on it. Hold on.
No,
All
All
I
you
think I
do
got
is
it.
just hit
Hold on.
No, that's making your screenshot even bigger. You don't want that, mate. It's right there. I
Okay,
can
but
see it.
that's all I'm doing.
Do you know what I also think
right
as
there.
well? You know, Ariel, when Diesel 10's holding onto the rail and all of a sudden he falls into the barge thing, I was hoping and expecting him to actually miss it and actually fall into the thing and die off, you know, because basically when you have a main antagonist, 9 times out of 10, they're likely to die off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually got like a trope called the
Aha,
Disney
got
villain death. And that's actually called the Disney villain death in some cases because that's how, like, you notice that's how a lot of Disney villains die.
Especially in I mean, look at it in Batman, for instance. They do it the exact
I
same
can't
thing.
post
as
the
well.
picture though.
Can you
So
just imagine if
that's
that had
how.
been
But
the
that's
case?
pretty much it. Oh,
We even saw it in season
Dark
5.
Author
where
needs to
he
be
was
re-added, Brandon.
trying to let
Wait, did someone leave? Or
no, Brandon's
Yeah, but I said the Dark Author has to be re-added, and he got lagged out.
oh dear, okay.
that's up to Brandon though. He's gone off again. The one thing I am going to say is that, you know, I mean, look what happened in season 5. We saw Rusty's ghost engine falling off the bridge, and he was killed off anyway. So I thought, why couldn't the same happen to Diesel 10? He could have had the exact same thing, and basically we don't see him fall into the whole thing. When he falls out of screenshots, but he could have hit the whole thing, and then we could have heard him blow up afterwards, and then you could have heard him say whatever it was, and then we just see his charred remains. That would have been
the thing is, I feel like the villain falling from a height. I don't know. I think that's a trope that's added to absolve the hero from the responsibility of actually having to kill somebody.
No, but I mean, if like, say, like, I hate to say this, but if Diesel was begging for mercy, but then all of a sudden, you know, because Thomas Blake does anything in the movie, could you just imagine if he had done that, like, protecting a lady, and all of a sudden he gets that tunnel rage, and he could have knocked him off it for a point for everything that he did, you know? Just think about it. It may be...
My God,
it
he's so patient.
that results in murdering Diesel 10, but at the same
Glenn,
time,
somebody in the chat who wants to come in.
Everybody's being impatient. Everyone's like, add me. Jeez Louise, can people be patient?
That's the thing I don't like in the thing. It's just people are just being impatient. That's the thing I don't like. I ignore that.
Glenn, we know. Okay.
Yep, we get it, Glenn.
I
We
get
know you.
that in mind.
Glenn, we know. Okay, we know.
The Dark Author says, I'm like the only one being patient.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm not sure if I actually agree with that ending because I know that the original version of the Magic Railroad was supposed to be a lot darker than the current one that we have. However, I think that may be pushing it a little bit.
Well,
having Thomas push Diesel 10 himself.
Yeah, I know he did, but I'm just saying, or how about this to counter it then to what I just said earlier on? Or in this case, what if what if Thomas had grabbed a hold of Diesel 10 and he's trying to push him off so he doesn't get, he tries to be heroic, but he's still going to take him in so the control him. But then his thing breaks off and, then Diesel 10 falls into the thing anyway. It's the same thing with Batman. He tried to grab the Joker and he
got lagged out.
You know what I'm saying? That scene in Tim Burton's film? Like that sort of thing.
There you go, Dark. There you go.
He tries to be heroic, but he can't save him anyway. And, it's just one of those things anyway.
I just dropped a random facts on board.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Dark Author might know what I'm trying to get at. It's like
Trying to get at.
It's like
hey there, everybody.
Hey Manson. It's like the antagonist save.
Hello, Glenn. Doing good.
I'm just saying. I mean, you try and grab. It's like when you have the hero who tries to save the villain,
Yeah.
but then he yeah, but he can't save him, and the villain dies anyway afterwards. It's like the whole
I hate
thing.
that cliche.
It's like
Did you all hear that Day of the Diesels was supposed to be darker?
I didn't like the Dead Years, to be honest with you. That
Yeah,
was to me, the title sounded weak.
Oh, hey, I guess I got somebody's attention because Ari said, I didn't see that picture of what. Now, actually, Ari, that was Stacy Jones holding that picture of Tasha and Burnett, not Lily. Lily was not holding it at all. I spotted it myself too on my DVD player. My DVD player is kind of trash. It's like it's an old Sony player one, but it's still good. But
Well,
How's
Sony
Sparrow
still
holding
works.
up?
Sony
what
still
now?
works.
What now, Jay?
How's Sparrow holding up?
No.
Oh, Sparrow. I don't know how he's holding up.
I thought you said Spyro then for a second.
No, I said
Sparrow. Jeez Louise.
Silly steamies. How would they like to be in trouble all the time?
I heard what happened with him on Twitter.
Oh, simple.
That's pretty intense.
Oh
to be
yeah,
honest.
Yeah, it
Sparrow
was.
is
Hey, I'm
Sparrow,
on Twitter too.
Scribbler. Scribbler's kind of
what I had gone
Obab
through, but
Scribbler's kind of being I don't know
Hey,
about Obab Scribbler.
Dennis, the lazy diesel shunters in the
I don't really
house,
know
boss.
100% though what he actually ended up doing.
you people know what I've been up to, but like I said,
Because Jay, earlier before you joined in, even in the server, him and Sparrow and Glenn were basically talking on similar things. So they both have exactly similar issues. They've been treated badly on Twitter and stuff.
Hey,
both of them.
Dark Arthur,
What's up?
are you Mr. A the Hedgehog?
Who's that?
No, he isn't.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I got confused. I'm so sorry. It's just the voice sounds similar. My bad.
I've never even heard of that person.
Okay, I thought he sounded
Sorry.
I thought he sounded familiar too to somebody from the Thomas community as well. Somebody I can't.
Sorry.
Think of it.
Thomas community.
I'll be right
I
back,
know
you guys.
basically nothing
I'll be
about.
back, you
Some kind
guys.
of awkward
Hold on.
being here.
I'll be back.
Sorry.
Coming, Mom.
Considering the fact that I don't really know anything about Thomas the Tank Engine, this is kind of awkward.
that's a good
Sorry.
thing. Good job you didn't. If you knew back in the early days, you probably would have done. So consider yourself somewhat lucky.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you were Adam, aka Mr. A the Hedgehog, because your voices sound similar.
Is
My
Mystery
bad.
the Hedgehog a good guy, or what's going on with him?
He's good. He's really nice. He's really nice. He's a nice person to work with.
Apparently, Sparrow got into something like political or something, and he
Yeah,
didn't mean what he said, but it just came out all wrong.
Yeah, he had every right to, in my personal opinion. I've read what he said, and it's exactly the same as mine. But the difference is, I'm very neutral in politicking, and I kind of avoid it, to be honest, because I didn't support any of this. Because I'm a Brit. I believe in. I'm very, very neutral about this kind of thing, and to be honest, what I've heard and read, in my personal opinion, the comments he had were absolutely total BS. Because he had his rights, but I don't agree with him. With the whole supporting Trump thing.
So Scribbler and Lost were involved as well.
And with the whole thing about being homophobic and racist and everything else, not supporting
Freaking surprised
LGBT.
though.
That to me, I hate to say it, but look, I'm a rogue. To put this in my, I know everyone's going to kill me for this, but I'm a rogue racial man. I've been that way since I was 17, meaning I do not support anyone else's color, neither my own. I'm just living life the way as it is because basically our color lives don't matter. White lives or dark lives don't matter, not by one bloody second.
Society's so fracking offensive these days.
Yeah, because you know what really matters? All of our lives matter. We're in this together, and we've got ourselves.
Yeah, why don't they go protest that instead of breaking stock queues?
Yeah, basically, we've got a COVID certificate. That's the thing I'm more focused with. I
just want something a little barley trick. Don't worry.
I can't even get my words here. Manson, shut up!
I was just singing. That's all. My bad.
I thought you were voice acting me. That was getting on my nerves. I was being deadly serious there. So shut it, please.
Me?
Okay, let's politely. I think Mason, Glenn was not done his thoughts.
Sorry.
Thanks, Brian.
all right.
At least you understand. Look, Dark Author, I apologize if you saw a little tense side there. I was reading serious, but I felt like I was being rudely interrupted.
So what?
Sorry, Glenn.
It's fine, Manson. Just remember, there's a place and a time for that. You could have just said that in the private chat, for God's sakes.
I'm sorry, Glenn.
I'm
Yes,
confused.
It's
Anyway.
fine. Let's just. It's all good.
That's all I'm just trying to
We're
say.
great. Yes, Glenn, we understand the picture. It's all
Yeah, I get that, but anyways, but after what Sparrow's been going through, it's very similar to mine, but the difference is he's going about it, he's doing it the right way, but clearly I'm gonna stay out of it as much as I can. But
I just hope the
can-
situation doesn't evolve into something worse.
Yeah, but it's going to evolve into something worse, and if he's not careful with this, and it could result into what I had to go through. But I think he's more smarter than me, not to push to the edge where I nearly went.
Hopefully.
To the yeah,
It's a
but
bit sensitive, that one.
but like I said, I wasn't very political with what
I know
was.
from experience. He got angry at me one time.
But that's the thing. Nowadays, we're living in a very political way, and I think that's what drives our rage and anger, which I think is BS and immature.
Well, yeah,
Right.
as a kid growing up on Xbox 360, we're like, what the hell happened to the world? Why can't we take a joke anymore?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, well, to be honest, I can take jokes, but I have to be wary of how it's being delivered and what could be said because it can be misunderstood. With me, I can say it's something out of nowhere, and people can start laughing because they like it. I mean, I was playing
Personally,
on my.
I prefer clouds sometimes.
Yeah, I've been playing on my PS1s, 2, and 3, but I've been on my PS3 since. But I remember playing on my PS2 all the way throughout my teenage life because that was how I looked at it. Because that was in my opinion, the peaking of the video game era, where you could just take your stick, you could just take your joystick and just play around, and you can take your aggression out on that. And that
True.
to me was perfect. Nowadays, people just get so carried away with the realism that they think that they're in the game. And like all those games that that are like for video games of guns and bullets and BS stuff, even if you take it too seriously, like take Halo or Call of Duty, and I dare say Star Wars, for instance, but you get the drift of what I'm trying to create the picture of,
I mean, I was like 6 or 7 when I was first playing Call of Duty. I'm not a sociopathic murderer, I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah, I love it. I like it for what it is. I mean, game quality is all about the quality, not the gameplay anymore, and that's what's killing the industry, in my opinion. Because I play because I like to. When I was playing my WWE 13 in the wrestling thing, I felt like it was a good time to be back in. I was really hooked onto it because it was like it had that nostalgia.
Can I say
feel,
something?
but it
Hey
was like
guys,
really,
Glenn, I don't mean to cut you off right there, but I do have to leave now. I'll see y'all later, okay?
that's all right,
Alright.
Ariel.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.
But yeah, all
Goodbye.
I'm just saying, that's what I'm just saying, Dark Author. But that was in 2012 and 13 and 14 and from 14 and the rest of it until I played 2K16.
I hate 2004.
Hello.
Yeah, like,
Hello.
but it was like a very enjoyable thing to play, and I could get lost in for hours. You know what I'm saying? It felt like that again, but since then, I'm just finding it so difficult to play on games now. Not to mention, the era is over for me. So I keep watching my DVDs and trying to do this and that. But sometimes I do feel like I want to go back to playing my retro games. And even after, I've been doing that a lot. And to be honest, sometimes it can work. Listen, Madsen, I'll let you go in a minute, but I'm just saying, that's another problem people nowadays tend to figure out. I mean, there are those who love playing the games. I've seen people I've been involved with who love it. But I'm talking about those who take it way too seriously and they end up becoming bad guys. Because I believe some of the video game gunshots that we see a lot that make people into murderers, and we see I think that needs to be cracked down a little
Completely
bit.
ridiculous.
It needs to be cracked down. I think Call of Duty and Halo could become the latest for that. Because I've seen it in Law and Order.
Stupid parents not controlling their kids.
Yeah, the episode of Law and Order SUV where it's called Intimidate Game.
Nope, haven't watched it.
Oh, well, that's an example. People they forget about reality and they think it's a video game and they all do this wrong thing. And, there's no, that's the problem. That's where people lose. That's an example of a classic thing where they lose.
Is that the one that stars Logan Paul in it?
No, not Logan. No, not that one. I'm talking about Law and Order SUV. I watch those a lot.
Oh, I thought you meant Special Victims Unit.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, SUV. Yeah, I watch that one more than the others because I've kind of lost track with the other ones besides Law and Order UK. But I watch that one more so I don't end up going on the wrong end of the, I look at that as a lesson curve for me, so I don't become the villains. But the thing is, I use what they do, and I incorporate into my stories. And the difference is, I just, even though they do a lot of killing in the end, the cops kill the villains in some of the ending sections. I always look at that to me as ultimate true justice. Like, good guys win, the villains don't win.
I've watched Requiem for a Dream. I love reality now. Requiem for a Dream is one of the scariest films I've ever seen, and it's not a horror movie.
But you get my drift there, though, don't you? It's just I just wish us in the UK could do that more often, because I always prefer because I always think that the Americans do it better than we do. That's what I mean. I mean, even when they pull the trigger and kill the villain off, you save others around you. It's part of the job. But I just wish that was the same here in the UK, to be honest, because we've only got half the freedom that that they have, unfortunately, which is kind of a little unfair.
Excuse me.
I don't mind Canadian freedom, because the Canadians are very different, and Brandon happens to be in that version where they're more different, And to be honest, they have less issues, in my personal opinion. And I'm just saying, that's all. Sorry if you've lost the plot there and you've confused Dark Author, but sorry about that. I was just explaining my opinions on why I think he's this and that. It's all because I believe in vigilantism.
I mean, the villains do win in some of the stories.
Oh, yeah.
And I like it. It's a change of pace.
It does. Yeah, sometimes there are villains you can like and get back to in. But in Law and Order, there's many villains that are like, oof, you wish, Be back in a sec. Anyways, you guys can continue on.
Yeah.
So may I talk now?
Of course, go ahead.
Okay. I have some stuff I have to get off my chest.
All right.
Well, the thing is, it might sound, I have to be careful when I'm trying to talk, because I don't want to upset or offend anyone or anything, but...
Go ahead. If I had somebody throw a knife at me once, I'll be fine. We're not lying.
It's like, words cannot describe to me how, ever since September, I'm not going to go into full details of what happened in September, but September of this year was just a whole dumpster fire to me.
A dumpster fire? Oh.
For me, it was just a
something bad happened that I'm not going to talk about.
Yeah, I see. Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Brandon?
Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I was going to say to Daniel Brooks, I hope you're feeling better. And also, the Dark Author, you sound just like a friend of mine, who also is from the UK.
I wasn't really done talking. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just sorry if I went off track.
It's okay,
Go
Brandon.
ahead.
You're good. You're good.
Finish your talk.
To me, and I'm not gonna regret saying this. It's nothing bad or anything, but to me, I feel like half of the Thomas community, except the people in the Thomas community, except those that I fully know, don't count. Like those that I know personally and those that I trust, they don't count. But the people that are just mean, toxic, rude, etc., you name it, they just it's so toxic. Like whenever okay, so it's like whenever I volunteer to help out, I'm not trying to pester for a voice acting role or anything. I'm just trying to offer volunteer. The people blame me for pestering, and it makes me feel like I'm the bad guy, look like the bad guy. It's really not healthy, and not only that, but it's just really making me feel so sick and tired of just what I'm doing. As a voice actor, it just makes me want to quit. It makes me want to give up, but I don't want to give up because I love voice acting for people. People bring me down so much, and I'm not going to quit because
relatable.
You phoned me up just to put the heat on. God damn it!
I'm sorry. I just...
And they're also the people who can lift you up into their arms and help you out. There are a lot of bad people in the world. A lot of good people.
I appreciate the help. It's just... I'm so sick and tired of people bringing me down all because I just like to offer to help out. Like there are some people, well, actually, less people appreciate, like more people don't like the fact that I volunteered to help. Like they blame me for pestering, but rarely there's.
So you're saying, Mason, you feel underappreciated?
Yes, I feel like my work is underappreciated. And I'm doing my best to, like, do better performances and, like, you know, learn better voice acting techniques and, like, you know, learn off of my inspirations. Not going to name who, though, but you get my point. Study my inspirations.
Hey, guys, Brandon, I'm sorry you just had a funny moment. My mom just rang me from downstairs and she just wanted to put the heating on. That's twice now she's duped me from doing that.
Oh, I see.
So basically, as I was saying, what I'm trying to say is, like, as a voice actor, I feel really, really, really underappreciated.
Okay, and Brandon's collapsed backwards.
Look, Mason, you gotta understand, it takes... Because here's the thing. Like, when I started doing the whole voice acting thing, like, yes, I look back on it and I could have done better. So my female voice impressions were a little.
God, Brandon, they scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, but I was young back then. The point is this.
I was impersonating you.
No, I wish it was. But anyways, the point is, Mason, with time and patience, it will pay off. Like, all right, I'll tell you something. I was in conversation with a famous voice actor on Zoom a few weeks ago. It was one of the greatest, most amazing things I'd ever had been a part of. Like, and she was just tremendous.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go first. I was done speaking my piece.
Yeah, I know what you mean when it comes to talking to famous people because, well, I once talked to Joel Hunter, aka Geeb Machine, for voice acting lessons, well, as a tip of the iceberg to help me get a jump start on voice acting. Joel helped me get a good jump start on voice acting.
But the fact is like, we got to understand something. Like, this voice actor talking about is actually was famous for being a part of creations such as Fairly Odd Parents, My Little Pony.
Cool.
Like this is a famous voice actress, and she was just amazing, like so tremendous. And I'll explain about this in a future video because when I do, actually today I had to record a lot of lines, and it took 1 hour. It took 1 hour. It took a lot of, like, it was 100-page lines for somebody. So
cool.
Anyway.
But yeah, I understand what you mean. With time and effort becomes patience. Yeah.
Yes, it's like that. It's like that song from season 5 of Thomas. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah. Hey,
heck, I've been.
Madison, can I clarify with you for something, please?
Yes, Glenn.
You brought up something I was going to talk about, but you beat me to it. I think we can all agree that the Thomas community has become very, very toxic. And
sounds like every community.
And it's just going to get even worse. I mean, think about it. I think it was less. If we go back 5 years, it was less of that. But because, 2015 was when they did The Adventure Begins, the 70th anniversary. It was when things started to look really good and we were going in a new direction. Probably the new generation were going to follow in line with us. Because think about it, that was a good year for all of us. And I also think
5 years later.
And then 2016 kind of was getting there. But again, with my life, when it was absolutely becoming an absolute cluster F in 2017, I think that's where the community began to show some signs, but it was like very tolerable and we could rub it off water off the duck's back. Same, and it was kind of a 50-50 in 2018. Actually, to be honest, I didn't take much notice in 2018 because I was too busy with other personal issues. But I will admit, last year was kind of unnoticeable, and it was starting to show more signs, but I kind of felt like, I was a lot better then. But I think it was kind of more of a split 50-50 there. But since this year, and since the COVID situation, and with the whole thing with, White Lives Mattering and the Black Lives Mattering and all the BS shit stuff that we've had to put up with, and I think that's where the community began to go toxic, because I actually saw someone on Twitter do a thing with Thomas supporting that sort of thing, and that pissed me off.
I understand.
Actually, Dark Author, you actually are temporarily wrong. Because I remember long ago, I've seen a couple that absolutely, maybe vomit.
I understand.
No, Dark Author. Honestly, I have. But it was not as bad as offensive. I kind of was like, what? You know what I mean? But then again, I think the only closest we'll ever get to seeing that is in fanfics that I've watched, which I don't mind at all, because fanfic is fanfic, and I just kind of laugh my head off, And and then what's next? If they did Thomas in anime, like they do in the whole fun animation industry, and I'm thinking to myself, if they did it that way for a mature Thomas generation like us guys, and just see them as
I'm gonna go now.
That would be brilliant. I would kind of think that's because I kind of relate more to anime nowadays. I think it would be quite nice. Make them.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And then I could and it would be more like, you can make Thomas a badass character. You can make Emily a badass girl that you don't want to fuck with, and she just absolutely just kicks the shit out of people. Just to make it, just to make as standardization as a stand up for making women more, powerful to stand up to men or whatever the case may be. But anyways, I'm going losing the plot. Actually, no. Yeah, LMP also fell victim to it, but and Pokemon is not far behind either. But in the toxic level that we're talking about mostly, besides what you just mentioned there, mate. Anyways, besides, the toxicity level is unbelievable. I mean,
I love health community.
Yeah, but Thomas is basically the worst one out of all the toxic ones, in my personal opinion. But if you want to talk about those that are less affected, I suggest you go to the Star Wars fandom, because that one is technically the least affected, and it's much more safer.
This is going to come a bit of a shock to everybody watching and you guys.
I've never seen a single
Star Wars movie. Okay, Manson.
And before I do, I just want to apologize for earlier.
It's fine.
All right.
I didn't mean to upset you, Glenn.
There's a place and a time for that anyways, but in any case, just remember that.
Right. Anyway, see you guys.
See you later.
See you later, boy. Anyway, Sam Brunt. Oh, nice.
Yes, he asked the question, who do you think is more popular, James or Henry? Honestly, with James, I don't know. Henry has gotten a lot of, at least in the top community and other communities, he's gotten a lot of lovers. That's all I'm going to say.
If you think about it, Henry's kind of mostly the character that a lot of us can relate with. I can relate to him 100% because...
relatable character.
Yeah, he's the more related character, even though it's funny because basically in the human forms I've seen him as he's dictated as a human being, he's more like portrayed as a hippie individual with ill problems. But kind of works actually, but at the same time, I just look at Henry as who he is anyway, not as that, but that's just me. Anyways, besides that, did you say, what were you going to say, Dark Author? Anyway, you said this might come as a surprise to what?
I've never seen a single Star Wars movie.
Oh man, you missed out growing up, man, in the 70s. That's brilliant.
I was born in 2004.
But the thing is, mate, it's the best, in my opinion, it is the best Star Wars, is the best space movie ever. Like, I mean, if you watch the original trilogy, you'll probably get hooked. Just give it an opportunity and just let it play along, and then
I know what happens with the Star Wars movies. I've just never sat down and watched them.
Well, you need to. Just give it a shot, mate. It's amazing. Then you will get the idea.
Just never got the time, that's all.
Oh, well, anyways, okay, I've been asked a Q&A here by Ari, saying, who's your favourite Star Wars character? Well, clearly, it's not. It was right there on my icon. It's basically Darth Vader. He was the man. In my opinion, the best character of all time ever done, and the best villain. He's the best villain overall that you can relate with. And he's still up there as number one. He's up there with the best of them. He's up there with Bison from Street Fighter, with Judge Claude Frollo from Disney. That's my trio of villains right there. But there are other villains that have circled around. But Darth Vader's always remained at the top spot, and he hasn't budged from it. Heck, I've even met the real guy, for crying out loud, behind the mask. David
really?
Yeah, in 2004 or 5, I think it was, when they were going to release the Revenge of the Sith episode 3, and I was there in the early Comic-Con and had a great 1-hour conversation with him, and he's wonderful. You know, he's a wonderful person. Heck, I've got 2 autographs of him above my head right now. You know, he was a wonderful man, and he's still alive. You know, still going. I just have yet to meet the voice of him, which is James Earl Jones, and then Darth Vader's complete.
Yep.
And it was actually thanks to Darth Vader and his voice that's where I kind of spoke as a deep tone villain. That's where I got the impression to this day still.
Ah, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hidden gem for you guys.
Lovely stuff.
It is lovely stuff.
Oh, hey there, Miles. It's been a while since I've heard of you anyways. Welcome to the stream.
My pleasure. This is not the first time using my microphone. I actually did my stream test on my YouTube channel, and it worked really, really well. Not gonna lie.
That's awesome. I mean, it's been ages since you and I last spoke, Milos. So much has happened between then and now. So,
yeah. Well, yes. Aria. Yes, it's true. Yes, Darth Vader is the best villain. You know, he was doable as a bad guy. You know, he could either thrill you or chill you.
Doable as a bad guy. You might want to change the phrasing.
Yeah. I mean, doable, I meant, was more like you could fight him as a good guy, you know what I mean?
Okay, if we're talking about something else, then we need to keep it PG.
Yeah, hey, I'm not PG, mate. I'm going all out with this.
Yeah, I'm joking.
I get you, mate. Yeah. I think, okay, Mr. Brandon, I know you're doing your lines here and you're kind of mimicking somebody, but Daniel is actually in the private chat, and I think he wants to come in with us.
oh yes, I have noticed. I've noticed that he is. Hold on, I shall rectify.
There we go.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, we go.
Hello there, Mr. Daniel. We're back, and we're kicking, and we're cooking with goose.
Yes, we are cooking with gas. Let's see. It looks like Amakalata is making something very.
Cooking with grease, but that's besides the point.
I thought that was a railway thing that she had in her hand there for a second.
Well, looks like she's making a bracelet or a necklace.
A railway bracelet.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were you saying, anyways, Brooks, Mr. Daniel?
The term is actually cooking with grease, but that's besides the point.
Well, what about cooking with gas?
Are you feeling better anyways now despite what happened this morning?
I have no idea. I actually just woke up about 30 minutes ago, so...
Because I was sorry what happened earlier on that you split up. I didn't realize you were in a relationship. I had no idea.
Oh, you're talking about what I mentioned last night?
Yeah, I had no idea, mate. I did not know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It happens.
Yeah, and we're here for you. We're here for you, Daniel. Like,
if you want to, and if you ever want to move over, I just gave you a suggestion. Why don't you move over to Strasbourg? Because you can get a job there now, actually, because the railroad are not just looking for volunteers, and if you want to work there, they'll pay you.
I mean,
yeah, I've thought about it.
It is an idea, because I understand that some people in the Tops community have interest in working on the railway, like working as a firelighter or a driver's assistant. I mean, wait, Requiem for Dreams. Isn't that song where it's like, is this the real life?
No,
I know the title though.
It's the intense trailer music, like dun 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 dun. It's an intense song.
Oh, I know that song.
Hang on, let me play that.
I know even.
Hang on, that rings a bell.
Requiem for a Dream is a very scary movie because it's not.
Like I said, this is how my eyes look right now. I am not feeling too well.
But why aren't you
like
well?
I said in the live chat.
Is it due to that smoking?
Maybe.
No, it's not that. It's definitely not that because
of what?
I don't know. I'm just like my nose has been stuffed up all day. I've been having trouble breathing, even with my CPAP mask on. So,
Does that mean you've caught it?
I've been tested for it so many times it came back negative. So I don't know.
You might want to go back for another test, mate, just for your safety.
Yeah, I probably should.
Do it, mate. I cannot bear to lose you, man.
I'll put the link to the theme song in the chat.
It's
I
all right.
can't remember it somewhere before.
I'm sorry if there's some loud noises. Like I said, I'm sitting outside.
I can hear it.
So it might sound like I'm echoing, but I'm not. But Brandon,
Hmm?
how's your day going so far?
It's going pretty good. We were just, I mean, things were going pretty good.
Chatting about a bunch of random stuff, video games, Star Wars. I heard all.
Yes, and oh, a trailer 123. You're still here. Angry emoji face. Why are you angry? Was it because I?
Did you see what I mean?
You took him out and put me in, so that's why he's probably a little upset.
Yep. Train lover, please. I know you're having a joke, but now you're starting to act like everybody else is like, please let me back in. You said that about Alberto earlier on. Jesus Christ, practice what you preach.
Look. I've seen that on my end that Alberto has been wise not to. Anyway, let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it. This is Sparrow.
But I don't know what he's doing. He's just.
I mean, Sparrow 9642 is praying to the sun that we're here for him, and that we're going to be there to the very end for him.
People are doing okay. I hope they're all right.
I hope he is coping. I'm just saying. I mean, whatever he's going through was similar to me, but mine was a whole different thing, as Daniel and Brandon can tell you.
That's why I'm never going for that.
That'll be 4-letter time if some people want to know about what you're going through.
Hypocrite. Oh, Jesus. That's what people call me as well. Well, I'm not a hypocrite. But at least in my head, I'm not.
At least Sparrow's not in Pyrocynical's current predicaments.
Who's that?
You look tired.
Pyrocynical's the guy who's being accused of being a groomer at the minute.
You see what I mean? That's what nowadays. There's another thing we want to get onto. People are accusing to get attention and make good people who they're jealous of look bad.
That's a thing called the internet.
Yeah,
but also
listen.
I kind of agree with.
People went as far as comparing me to R. Kelly, which completely pissed me off. Hell no.
I mean, but I do agree with you, Glenn, about the Thomas community becoming very toxic. I've only been a part of it through you guys and Brandon and some other people, but it's not the same.
It's not the same like years ago.
It wasn't the same as we knew it as, but
the older generation like us understand the value, and we respect our elders and we respect our fellow friends. It's just the younger generations,
they don't know of it. They didn't grow up with it like we did 20 to 15 plus years ago. I mean, don't get me wrong, every generation that since the 40s and all these things that came out, they've all had their opinions, but they were respectful and they weren't as dramatic or toxic. I don't think there was ever a thing called toxicity.
I think it's just the future generations that don't understand the value, and
I'm a weird kid. I enjoy watching stuff from the 1930s, for crying out loud. I say it's better than what's there in right now. I appreciate the old stuff. It's great.
I agree with you, Dark Arthur.
Me too. I've watched films from the 50s in black and white. Heck, I still watch Thunderbirds, for crying out loud, from the 60s. That predicted what the future was going to be.
It's a good show when it's from.
I still watch cartoon shows that aired on Boomerang. That's for the generation. That's for my mom and dad's generation cartoons.
Boomerang brings me back.
Yeah, I still watch the classic stuff as well, but it's pretty hard to watch it in this day and age when you try and watch and laugh. Because when I was a kid, I used to watch it constantly. But I think, but here's the thing as well, that there's one thing that really gets me back into that, like, you know, hyperactiveness. The only series I watch now from the cartoon 90s is Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh, I heard.
Brendan, it's texting on the phone.
I never got a chance to see that. show. I heard it's
Oh,
really good. now.
Well, guess what? You can actually still watch it. You can actually get the series on DVD now.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, if you get
Even the classic Thomas episodes you can get on DVD.
Yeah, but the difference is with the old series in that one, you get to see all the errors that were spotted. That's the problem with the restored
On
version.
the VHS tapes, you can even see the bloopers in it.
Yeah.
Sorry if I was on the telephone. I was speaking to I was doing some awesome business. with someone.
But what I meant was,
I kind of figured that. I just wanted to point that out just to be a little bit of a nuisance.
Hey, but Brooks, but Daniel, even the VHS originals, you barely see the.
I know.
You
But with the
don't get-
DVDs, you can see every single.
and that's ridiculous.
Tom and
Why-
Jerry brings me back.
Like, why couldn't they just re-release the VHS runs and just put it in the DVD quality, but just not show that all the you know?
But
all
I think the reason why they released the classic episodes on DVD was because so the generation that's behind us can see what.
How the series looked like.
Yeah.
And I conclude.
What they have now is ridiculous.
I mean, I can respect what they're trying to do, but they missed the bigger picture. And I've been telling this for 10 years now. Ever since the 2010, we were going to go into places where they see a lot of errors, but they don't bother and they just get away with it. And I see it with the I've seen it
And I
with the
don't even want to know what season 25 is going to look like. I am scared.
Well, I'm not going to bother. To be honest, I don't really want to bother too much with it, to be honest, because it's basically the final nail in Mattel's coffin.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
Ed, Edd and Eddy from the conspiracy theory show.
And
I
speaking
mean,
of
Brandon, you had a valid point on something. I forgot what it was, but the company that's working with Mattel, Brandon says the company that's working with Mattel can easily buy out Mattel and make the Thomas franchise look like its glory days.
Well, basically,
that could work. If
what I'm trying to say is like, what I mean by is, let's just say Mattel, like, because Mattel is in really like big trouble financially. Let's say they were to, like, say they were going to bankrupt and all that. Let's say like a company like Hasbro, for example, were to acquire the rights to
company
Thomas.
that I was trying to think of the name. That's the one.
Because Hasbro has already made My Little Pony, is making Transformers. Would make sense for them to make, help with the Thomas franchise because it would make sense. Like, look at my share screen. Like, even Malordor would agree. Like, Malordor is just like,
not the Lord. God dang it.
well,
Reverend Wilbert Audrey. I know if he was still alive, may he rest in peace. Will
I
be
know.
severely saddened.
He's hard. No, but Daniel, I think Reverend W. Audrey is still in his grave right now. He's just absolutely pissed. He predicted the future of what was going to happen,
And nobody, we all knew, we all believed him. Well, at least some of us did.
Back in 1997, he told the future, and we didn't listen because we didn't. We didn't think it was going to be this bad, though. But there will be. I mean, it's fine, but this is beyond what he predicted. But listen, here's another thing. If Hasbro, don't get me wrong, I think Hasbro is still doing a good job. In my personal opinion, I think Thomas would be perfect for the company.
If Hasbro just took over the whole thing.
I think Hasbro's good because they weren't they very retro back in the day as well, if I'm correct, because the name.
Yeah, they were. But yeah, they were.
Oh, nice. So maybe perhaps I wouldn't mind if Hasbro bought out from Mattel and did something, because basically that would help Thomas and the today's generation while they could listen to us audience.
But the thing is, though.
But for merchandising, that'd be perfect. But for the actual TV series itself, would be, I'm not too sure about that one. But maybe they could continue on but they could throw some nostalgia in there, and maybe the fact is that they could,
Yeah, I do agree with that.
How should what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, for merchandising, yes.
Are you not switching us through screens, Brandon?
Brandon, you're making my eyes go haywire there for a second.
Well, Emma Coletta has a big smile on her face,
Welcome
so.
back.
Yeah, but anyways, you get the idea. I think merchandising would work, but I don't know about the TV series though. That's the only difference.
I mean, to be completely honest with you,
Train lover, be patient. God damn it!
Is he? Wait, is he? Oh, he's saying let me back in. I will let him back in. I
be
will.
patient, you little
Greg.
nitwit.
Greg, listen. You said it. You said it yourself. You said it in my streams as well. Listen, if you're going to continue on asking, Brandon's not going to let you back in. So don't go.
I mean, I'm a very flexible man. I am a very flexible man.
Yeah, but don't go back. So don't. Yeah, but see, well, actually, you are there, mate. Listen, that's where you preach, buddy, mate. Jesus Christ, the nerve of some people. You know what I'm saying? But anyways,
I can tell.
Before you go back to you, Daniel Brooks, what you're going to say, I just need to clear up something. Hey, Dark Author, you said something about the only community that you've active is oh wow. So you're an anime fan. Congratulations, mate. You count me into it, mate.
Well, that's the only anime I like. Well, that's it.
Yeah, look, I love High School DxD as well, mate. I'm a big fan of it, and believe me, I've got all the seasons now. I love it. But you know why?
I saw that for a day. My friend would not stop pestering me about the show. So I watched it and I got addicted for some reason. And here I am.
And Joe, why I think it is, in my personal opinion, look, unlike many fans, I'm not there for the whole you-know-what thing, because I like it for what it is. I like it for what it is, for the beauty for what it is. You know,
yeah, the beauty, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. That's how I look at it as. I'm not like a dirty perv, like some people would want to, but I like it for what it is. And like, okay, it doesn't get me easily aroused. I'm just
I've become desensitized to it after season 2.
I basically just like it for the drama, like for the comedy, the bits that go a bit funny. Yes. Because it's funny you mentioned about anime, because I look at that as almost like a place for many of us like me with autism that can relate to, because the way how they react. And I think that's my opinion. But the reason why I love it is because I love the casting. And I know, and there's one actress in particular why I love it, because the voice of Rhea Scremery, Jamie Marshall.
She has the same full name as me. The first name.
Yeah, Jamie Marshall. That's her. The voice of Rhea that everyone recognizes her for. She's absolutely a goddess. I love
she
her.
and Konako's voice actors are perfect.
Yeah, she's really good, and I don't know why, but for some bizarre reason, I could see her voice. This is going to be a bit of a laugh. If she was in the Thomas community, could you just imagine if she was voicing Mavis or even Daisy? Heck, I could even see her going as far as, maybe voicing Lady, for instance. Jesus Christ. How cool would that be to have a recognizable actress, or the voice of Rhea, as many fans would say? It would work. That's the reason why I think Thomas should have anime actresses. I mean, there's a Facebook thing I'm a part of. Everybody keeps playing around like, who would voice this? Who would voice that?
Well, I have an unpopular opinion in the High School DxD community.
I love it to what it is. Season 1 was fine. Season 2 was cool. Season 3 was what it was. But I like I've just got Season 4, and I like the new update they've done on it, though. Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll go back to talking about anime and other bits and bobs, because I think you and me have just hit something very, very awesome. We'll go back to another stream about that later on. But anyways, back to what you said, Daniel. Anyways, you said something about like what would happen because we said, the merchandising with Hasbro and Thomas would be perfect, since WWE have gone back to their style with it too as well, from the 90s with the modern style, which is brilliant. But as for the TV series itself, I'm not so sure how that would work out, but you have your own opinion about it, so bring it up, mate.
I mean, the TV series will be, in all honesty, if Mattel would just let Hasbro do the TV series, Hasbro at least make it better than what it is now. They'll probably keep all the CGI and animations in their stuff, but they'll
update it to like Transformers Prime standard. But
do you have a theory? Do any of you guys? I need to ask you just as a quick Q&A. I'll start with you, Daniel, and then maybe Brandon and you guys maybe. Do you have any? What's your theory about it if that were to happen? Like, say, like as Brandon said, if Mattel did go bankrupt, what theories would you think if Hasbro did take it into the direction it would want to go for?
I mean, they'll try to make it more based on how the Reverend Wilbur Audrey was doing it, because what Mattel's doing right now, some of the episodes that I've seen and some of the single movies that they've done, it's like the Thomas franchise took place back in the 30s, 40s?
40s, in 1945.
1935.
No, 1945.
Okay, well,
it's during the Second World War.
But some of the last episodes of season 24 is featuring stuff that I'd say would not even be possible for that year, like that the locomotive that had the big propeller on the back of it.
Oh, Hugo.
For instance.
You mean Hugo?
Hugo, what do you mean by big propeller?
I mean, that didn't come out until at least the 60s, maybe 70s.
Wait, you're talking about Hugo, right?
Yeah.
Well, Hugo was built way before the 1940s.
Oh, okay.
So I believe.
Like there was only one of him, and one of him sadly.
Diesel that was in the electric diesel on the electric lines. Those.
You mean Etienne?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Etienne was in the Great Race, but Etienne was never thought of until way after the war.
Speaking,
I can't remember, but
hey guys, Manti Engine says he's down here who has Henry's icon. He says if I was Audrey, he would sue Mattel for $1 million or whatever. I think, if Audrey was alive, I think he would.
That would be an understatement. I think if the Reverend Wilbur Audrey was still alive, he would sue Mattel for everything they've got.
Do you think? Hey, do you know what he should do? He should just pull off an Ultimate Warrior stunt like he did in 1996 when he sued WWE for $6 million to acquire the rights of his name.
Yeah.
That's true.
But in all honesty, I don't know if you guys agree, but when Britt Allcroft did the Thomas and the Magic Railroad movie, I think that's what started the downfall for the Thomas series.
Honestly?
Well, yeah, she did. It was.
If it was in her own,
in my opinion, I loved it. In my personal
movie was done in the.
I mean, I loved it too, but at the same time, I think
it just made me believe. I just thought, because me being 9 years old in 2000, when we saw the real life
in 2000.
Yeah, when we saw the real life stuff and the Thomas world, at the time, my imagination just shot off like a rocket. I saw it because at the time I actually did believe Soda was real.
Start again. Oh, beans up again.
I believed Soda was real, right? And I felt like this was the only way we were going to connect to it, because through the Magic Railroad into there. And I thought, so that's how we get to Soda. I'm telling you, my imagination back then was wild. I think a lot of us could
Same here. I'm only a year younger than you, so.
I thought you were a year older than me, mate.
No,
we must also take into account.
You were born in 91, when I was born in 92.
Yeah, but we must take into account. Had Britt Allcroft done the movie with having P.T. Bomber and that, if he was led in the film, then yes, it would have been successful. It would have been a masterpiece. It is still a masterpiece.
They left out P.T. Boomer, that kind of ruined it.
Because the test audience is deemed otherwise, and that's no.
Say if the film was done today, it would probably it would be like a 50-50 on critics. They would just straight up but at the same time, I think actually, you know what? Here's something we could be thankful of. Let's all be thankful Mattel didn't come up with that idea, because if they did, it probably would have fucked the entire community to its death core.
Yeah, it would have.
So think about that. Think about that in a way. 2 decades ago, you would, if you thought about that in today, now from 20 years from now, from then, people would be thinking, you're absolutely fucking crazy.
Wait. Tower predicts the future of and Red versus Blue episode. How did it predict the Red versus Blue episode's matinee engine? Which, by the way, I did your lines for you, by the way.
I mean, if I know another Red vs. Blue series that was done by Rooster Teeth Animation. It's based off the Halo video game simulation. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah.
Oh, hi! Thank goodness.
You finally waited.
It's ugly.
Now then, I was gonna mention is if I can remember what it was. Now, if I can remember where it was. So somebody, but Glenn, you said that thing of Dear Grant on DeviantArt. That's what started your troubles. I thought but that's from June 10th, 2020. I thought you've been dealing with this crap for nearly 3 years. What the heck's going on with this?
No. That's what I was trying to explain. The whole problem with that was the whole Clinchfield Fallout thing that had been going on for a longer while, and that's what I was saying about. This here is what's recently going on since June with the whole BS stuff that we've been having lately, ever since the whole instance, in America. That's what I was trying to get at. And then and then after that, the whole thing leaks out about the whole politics I was voting for that we don't want to speak about. And then the whole thing was then leaked on Twitter, and then people brought up about my past of who I was just well known for. So that's the whole
Mom, I don't know if we'll be able to walk the dog because it's starting to
shit that's been going on since, and I don't want to talk about it too much on here, right? So
it's starting. The clouds are starting to roll in. Jeez, mother.
Basically,
wow.
Greg, you need to go back. If you had known me back then 10 years ago, mate, you probably would have wanted to kick my ass for that.
Oh, Glenn, I would not. If I knew you back then, I would not want to. I
was totally a different person back then.
If I did, I would know. I don't know how it would be, but here's the thing: I would never want to bash your face into a freaking brick wall. If even at that time, I would just basically be like, okay, I will speak to him. Let me finish. I will speak to him. Seriously.
Are you serious?
I said, yeah. Are you freaking kidding me? Anyway, I would be like, okay, let me just leave Glenn alone, get himself out until he's calmed down, then speak to him. I wouldn't just be like, nope, goodbye, Glenn, no longer friend, dislike, unsubscribe, everything. I wouldn't do that. That's not how it would be. I want to just go like.
Section.
Yeah, I want to just go like what Galaxy's doing. I want to be like, oh, let me just go all over DeviantArt, steal this man's artwork, and use a name like his to make him look bad. That's gonna That's gonna make me famous. No, it's gonna make you. It's gonna make it. No, wait. Here's the good part, Glenn. Here's the good part about what I'm about to say. No, the only thing that's gonna make Comer famous is with the police.
The police.
Yes, the police is going to get him famous. It's going to make him famous. Is me getting in touch with the police.
Yeah, on the police, and then eventually,
the death row.
Oh, in this case, as Undertaker, I'm basically like Undertaker. I'll be like, you try me, I'll make you famous.
Oh, by the way, Glenn, I wanted you to know is that I saw this meme or something from this guy Dawko. Dawko's a British guy too. Yeah, Dawko. Guess what? He was watching a FNAF meme video, and Undertaker was in one of the memes, and he knew exactly who the Undertaker was. I was like, oh boy. Well, maybe he needs to be Glenn.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Some people call me by him as well because of my well-known cosplay for like 12 years, and
I just call you as King Fan 701.
But yeah, that's my YouTube name. But it doesn't really matter. They call me that or that. I answer both names. But
you know what I did in one of the servers, though? You know what I did? It changed my name to Insolder Island Official. I changed my name. I edited my name.
Look, Stories in the States live stream coming in November. Holy shit, that's actually... Brandon, did you just type that in?
Oh, there's
yes. Smiling all right. He's smiling all right.
How did that pop in? I didn't see that. I didn't even see it in the chat. How did that come through?
What the...
Brandon.
Brandon, don't do that. Don't tease us like that.
How do you do that? How do you advertisement another stream thing to do that, Brandon? How is that possible?
It's in the banners section of StreamYard.
It's magic.
Oh God! Oh, Daniel's taking Greg's famous line. Stop copywriting it.
What is it? What is it? What's going on here? Who stole my line? Who stole my word? Who stole my word? Who am I gonna have? Daniel, I hope you're ready to have. I hope you're ready to have a concussion because I've got the shovel.
That's the Undertaker.
Jeez Louise.
No, if it's a shovel, don't be worried. Don't worry.
Nah, I'll just have an iron fist going into the shovel and into his head.
Nope. Nice try. You missed. Clang.
Yeah, Daniel. Daniel, did you say? By the way, Dark Author, can I just come back to you for a second?
Sure. What's up?
I gotta admit, I have to say this. I say this to anybody who I'm getting
All right,
along
Brandon,
with. Oh, God dang it, Mr. Brando.
Brandon, really? Iron shovel coming in 2021.
Mr. Brando, stop it.
I got the axe. It's better than your pizza cutter.
Brando, please stop it, or I'm going to give you a tombstone into the sun.
I got the butcher knife.
Anyways, I was going to say, Dark Author, I actually have to say this to everybody who I speak with and get along with. I tend to take a good liking to. It's like I'm going to get along with this dude. So I feel like you and I have something in common. I think we're going to mash up pretty well. Yeah, I think so. Since we're pretty good at civilizing, we have a likeness for anime, which is a good thing. So I know I found another content guy to go with. I'm going to go back on anime in a little bit with you, but I just want to let you know if you think anime was pretty good, I've been seeing some pretty damn good ones recently on Netflix, which definitely have caught my attention. And with the new upcoming actors who have been, who sound similar to the older generation, but they're really good. Here's the thing.
Sometimes just the way I can get my voice to sound very high pitched or speaking or whatever.
If you want to
you put it best one time. I think it was you when you first heard my voice. It was like I reminded you of somebody.
Well, at least not Bray Wyatt, that's for sure.
Don't get me started.
Don't worry. No, I was talking about the old one, not his current version. I was talking about the original version of who he was when he was a bit better. But anyways, besides that, let me tell you this. Wait, was I almost going into Hulk Hogan then for a sec? Hang on. Dark
Let me
Author.
tell you something, brother.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Brandon. Oh yeah. Anyways, I was going to say was I was just going.
Michaeletta smiling.
I know, Brandon's making me smile the shit off right now. Anyways, I'm trying to keep my composure.
Anyway,
anyway.
and by the way, hold on. By the way, what was it? Okay, go on. Brandon, stop.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, I'm Glenn.
Anyway, but hold on. Dark Author.
What's up?
In that I'm sorry video from Sparrow, he mentioned that he's not a Toon critic, and I was like, okay, why would he bring up that name even though that incident happened years ago?
Toon critic? Who the hell's that?
Toon critic Y2K. Remember the guy who used to play a soldier who used to be the blue soldier in the TF2 Analysis Anarchy?
It's a long story with him. He did something that he shouldn't have done, and
Brandon, yeah. Oh, so you did see the video from Josh Scorcher, Brandon?
Yeah. In other words, long story. Best
the video.
Daniel, I sent you that video too from Josh Scorcher.
Yeah, I watched it and I was like, "Ouch."
Minecraft.
Yes,
Minecraft.
Oh no, that's on the dark author's end. He's doing that.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I know a few people that do that. I know a few people that do the Minecraft thing as well.
This is mod. Whee! Oh, hey, what do you know?
I believe I can fly.
Copyrighted song.
I love that song. I still love that song.
Mjolnir.
I believe we can fly. How about I believe I can fly to the day I fall out. Oh Jesus! Anyways, it's Thor's hammer.
Whoa, nothing like cooked bacon, eh?
It's Thor's hammer.
Bacon.
For Asgard. Anyways, okay, back to what I was going to say. Anyways, okay. Dark Author, I was just saying about with the anime stuff. If you think, my life is anime pretty good.
Stop the game.
Stop it, dude.
Oh shit, Spider-Man, not Thor. Okay then.
No, it's
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
It was Thor for a minute,
it
but
is
now he's
a-
Spider-Man.
It's really cool. I was just gonna say was Dark Author. If you think, I like anime a lot.
Oh my god. Oh god, that's weird.
He's doing the spider thing. Anyways, I was just gonna say was the whole oh Jesus Christ, that was a big switch.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Hey, there's Batman. Nice.
Look at that.
He's Iron Man now.
He's Iron Man.
Superman, Iron Man.
Wait a
He's
second. Try to blow a hole through that wall right. Try to blow a hole through the mouth.
If you
Do it,
like
do it,
stuff
do it, do
like
it, do
anime- Yep. If you like the anime stuff that that you and I kind of like,
Popcorn Village. What's
Yeah,
wrong with you?
if you wanted to check out any anime that I've got, you'd be quite
Wait,
surprised
oh,
because
you have
I'm actually doing a rebooted fanfic on the Titanic fanfic that I was also known for doing, and I've been using a lot of anime bases to help bring my characters to life in some sequences. And basically, my OC is that of an anime.
Do the Deadpool one next. Do the Deadpool one next.
And if you
Deadpool
like to, you should check it out. If you ever
literally
wanted to. Would you be interested in wanting to check it out? Maybe. Dark Author.
So,
I was just gonna say, would you like to check out my Titanic fanfic? Because I actually have a bit of anime, but I'm treating mine like anime in a funny sort of way.
you made
Well, if I can just do it.
Dark Author. Brandon, the Dark Author, I was suggesting to Dark Author about doing a creepypasta reading on his channel too.
I mean, that's what it's all
Okay.
about.
But Brandon is also experienced with that. If you want, hey, nothing like getting cooked, nothing like cooked butterfly, eh?
Hmm.
There it is.
Reminds me of a book I used to read a long time ago.
Anyway, Brandon, like I was saying, so since you and Brandon seem to be experienced with Audacity, Brandon and you could both maybe, help work together to edit my voice, maybe, with the reverb effect I'm going to use.
I've done it with my voice in the past. By the way, look, can you guys see on my share screen right now?
No, I'm looking at Dark Authors.
It's my turn, buddy. Here we go. Here we go. Look, can you see this here? Look, this is the screen cap for my fan. This is in my DeviantArt thing here, the Titanic fanfic I'm rebooting. These are the actual scenes I have done. That's me as my alter ego for the time being as a stunt double, all right?
Oh, and there you are. Hey, isn't that your original cameo too from the movie?
Yes, that's right. That's one of them. Anyway,
No, not from the Titanic movie. I'm talking about the original cameo you used in the Ghost Train.
I did, yes, and this is me. That's me. That's my OC, along with my ex-girlfriend's OC, Kiara Calloway, who she still allows me to use. This is what they looked like back in 1912, and they're both 18 at this point. Right? So I use an anime base. It's really good because the two connect with each other. You still look right.
Yeah, we're all seeing, of course. Glenn, are you saying? How are you pronouncing anime?
Anime. That's how we say it in the English dub in Britain.
Oh, okay.
Not American.
Well, Glenn, I'm just gonna make a joke. Glenn, I'm just gonna make a joke here. You've made a lot of enemies.
That's shit. That's shit. Anyways,
a lot of enemies.
I say
a lot of enemies.
And if you want to say how we say the words, they say manga in the American style. We here in the UK we say manga.
Brandon, stop with the freaking games. Anyway,
I'm not doing anything.
Stop it, Brandon.
If you see this one here, hey, Dark Author, can you see this still?
Hang on, I see Kane and Kiara.
Yeah,
but
that's
here's the
basically,
thing.
I took that from a screen cap anyway style, and I just blended it out and painted them over, and I had a lot of fun with this. Got more exposure. This is from a recent anime, which is really good, and I suggest you check it out for yourself. It's one of the best I've ever seen. That one's from an anime base I took her, and that one there is from another base. That's basically the first time I've drawn my OC for the first time in a long time.
Oh, Oh, I know what. Oh, you mean Unity? Oh, you're talking about.
That's Unity. But yeah, that's Unity herself. She's one of the new OCs in the film in the new reboot.
Rainbow.
And basically, that's the first time I've played my character. This is just before the impact. Apparently, this is really good.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm gonna.
Glenn.
This is
Hey,
an idea.
guys,
This is an idea of what I'm doing.
I'm gonna drop out for a second, then let me right back in. I can barely hear you guys.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think, anyway? So, what do you think about it?
By the way, Glenn, I just wanted to mention this. Dark Author.
What's up?
Last stream or something, because Glenn was talking about the Titanic and something like that about the ship. I said this. Sorry to put an iceberg in your path there, Glenn.
Yes, I know. Look, we'll talk about the whole Titanic. Listen, we're going to talk about the Titanic thing another time when I get back into streaming, and I'll host a couple of streams, and I'm going to be really, really honest with you here with this, okay? Like that, and don't try and dominate over me because I know it pretty well. I'm passionate with it, so I don't want to get on my bad side with that. Anyways, Hindenburg here apparently popped in. He's the one who's going to try and help us take down the guy who's screwing my life up.
Did somebody actually make themselves an iceberg pun?
You need to invite him into my server.
Because if they did, that was cold.
What?
No.
Somebody made an iceberg pun that was cold.
Yes. Yeah, that was pun intended. Yeah, pun very much intended there.
Yeah,
anyways,
because that's not even the tip of the iceberg.
Jesus Christ, you and your ice puns.
Well, I'm glad you realize. Well, I'm glad that you like our jokes. That's so very ice of you, Glenn.
Well, speaking of ice, look at this. Here's Titanic as she is when she comes out of her metal shell, the humanized form. This is Titanic as an anime.
Be right back. What?
Look at this. That's her as she is years later on, and that's Maltorigo, set 68 years later on. Can you see? Because, do you know why? You just bear with me on this, all right? Because she turned him into an immortal, meaning he can't die.
I'm just looking back at the memes I've made.
Oh.
Yeah, as you can see, she's immortalized him. Can you see? Dark Author.
Yeah.
And eventually it turns out, as we all know with many anime girls, she has a split dark side personality. I took the idea from Inamoka from Rosary X Vampire, which was one of the first anime movies I watched. And she becomes what she called, and she ends up becoming inner Titanic, basically as a gothic version of who she is.
Wow, your artwork is amazing, Glenn.
Yeah, who's this?
Oh, this is so this is Tristan.
Oh, hey there, Tristan. Welcome aboard. Oh, it's him again. Yeah.
My first name is Ari, by the way.
By the way, Aniki, Dark Author, did you say something earlier?
I'm just saying that you didn't notice the accidental Discord tab I called on. Good.
Yeah, I
don't want to see it.
What do you mean on Discord? I didn't see that.
Yeah, good.
Because I'm not on there.
Well, no, it was on screen share, but yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, good.
Good. Why good? What wrong would happen?
You don't want to know.
All right, then. Best if I didn't. But anyways, that's how she looks like originally, but that's her inner persona, which means she's completely different and she's cold. And what's funny about it, she has ice powers. She uses powers of that which she's afraid of.
Is anybody told her that she needs to chill out?
Yeah, well, basically, if you say that, she basically gets pissed, like icy pissed, like an ice. You know, they say in the anime they call her like an ice queen or something. If that's like, you know.
I see red eyes. I immediately think of Korra.
Who's Korra?
You not know Undertale?
Oh yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know the name. But with red eyes, I keep thinking of multi